Welcome back to Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. This is Core 4, Episode 2, Son of Darkness. Last time, it was asking for an ass whooping. Ishida... Look, a part of me wants to go from, like, just finish a fight and then move on to the next one, but also, I kind of am liking the multiple different fights going on, so I, like, want to check in on everybody. But I also feel like the Gerard fight is going to have to wait till a couple episodes from now. I think what they're going to do is just focus on Askin, deal with him, and then maybe go to Gerard or Hashwal, deal with them, and then Yuhabaha will be last, obviously. I'm sure we'll get some interspicing from Ichigo throughout this core, and like, okay, we've got to check in on how he's progressing through the castle or whatever. Anyways, I'm just excited. I did get a little bit of spoilers, screen grabs of like, I know some Bankais are showing up this episode, so I'm very excited to see. Anyways, let's see the episode and see what happens. Am I watching the right show? Where are we? This intro is really cool, though. I really do appreciate it. But I like that they're adding a little bit of, like, Orihime, you know, what's going on with her. I guess not rushing that love relation, whatever their, you know, love story going on. Because a lot of people shipped him with the Rukia. I can see it now. I've always been a Ichigo and Orihime truther, though. Interesting background music. This angle! Okay. Sure. I get it. I get it. Yeah. I agree with that. Okay. Yeah, what do you mean by interested? No, I don't really care. Oh, God. Move! Ow! Did he take out his eye, basically? Every single organ. Bankai. Hello? Because he's never used it before. What's up with his eyes? Are they like... Are those a bunch of rings on them? Is that one? Oh my God. Did he just unstitch his... And he's restitching his eyes back together or something? Reconstruction. What? What the hell is this? What just happened? I'm so glad they're going all out for him. He's like stitching the ground of his sword, whatever his sword is touching. That's crazy. I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time here, but it's just amazingly animated. What? What happened? Oh! Grim Chow! I thought like that was Kisuke's hand going through somehow. But that's awesome. So he cut open the gift ball so that Grimjow could come in. Ah. He's like, nah, I just got plans. It's not that he knew, it's just taking hedging my bets. Thank you. Scared me, but thank you. Honestly, just make sure this dude has come back to life like 20 times already. Oh, is he really still alive? God damn it. Come on, nail. I don't know why. Yeah. Nail, come on, do something. High possibilities. Let's go now. Save the day. He's not gonna die. There's no way. I'm gonna deny it until the until they show me that he's fucking dead. Oh god. I don't are we ready for this? Okay, don't let it go to your head though. E equals. That's fine. Orihime, come on. Get your head in the game. Yes. I love that for you, but like don't let it go to your head, girl. Shut up. I wasn't expecting them to actually go at it this soon. Oh man. Those little traps or something? Nice. God, I don't know how we do this because he can see everything. Oh. He hit him. Because you switched now? Okay. See, what I'm scared about is, like, if Yuhabaha is smart, which he is, he's going to go after Orihime, right? Because she's here protecting Ichigo. Girl. God. Orihime, please. He has, like, a mini version of it? What's going on? He got those Ukiora eyes. It's mine. Hello? Really setting up the Ichigo and Orihime thing. Because Ichigo starts the opening and Orihime starts the ending in like the same way as I'm like... I know Ichigo has like a verbal yo, I think. Verbal. But yeah, like that's crazy. I just recognized that. It's an icicle? Miracle! Toshido! Blood for my bone. Ooh. I really like this episode. The reason I got spoiled is because algorithms and YouTube and shit. So I was seeing what other people were thinking about the first episode. A lot of people had the quite obvious reaction of like, damn, or Yoruichi. But I've also seen the opposite take online of like, it's kind of anti-black, kind of anti-woman. I don't want to try to over it again because I think I said what I needed to say on my episode reaction myself. But on the flip side of it, I guess the only other thing I want to add is like, yes, Yoruichi had a badass moment, and I really wanted her to win because I had a feeling they'd like, here's Urahara now. You know, he's gonna be stronger, smarter, better in every way. Oh, it was such a good Bankai, such a well animated episode, you know, obviously. But as much as I love last episode, I think this episode just like really, I don't know, it hit its stride even stronger for me. I feel like they put in, I don't know, last episode just really felt fan servicey and like, you know, it was fun and enjoyable to watch still. But at the same time, I feel like they put more respect on Kisuke, and that's kind of upsetting. But also, I like Kisuke as a character, so I'm not mad at it. And him and Yoruichi are kind of a package deal for me. You know, they're they're like a bisexual's dream or nightmare, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I love that his power is like reconfiguring. That what was like reconstructing or something like that. It's it's not quite as obvious as you think, and it just made me think of like his power would have been really helpful versus like Pernita also. I think he could have also taken Pernita down very similarly the way that Kurotsuchi Mayuri did. You know, just to be able to reconstruct his nerves and stuff. He rebuilding his body. I love that aesthetic that they were going with it. It does kind of feel out of left field for me, but I can kind of get it on a conceptual level of he's a scientist. He's a creator. You know, he's always inventing stuff. So I get that thought process of how his Bankai is related to who he is, but it's also like the doll marionette thing. That part feels out of left field for me. But yeah, I just really loved it. I love that Grimjow got to get a lick in. You know, that if they do that for like the Fullbringers, if they do that for like the Vizards, you know, I'll be happy. That's all I want from those types of characters. You know, I don't need them to like be the main focus of the episode. I just want them to like do something. Him and Nell, Grimjow and Nell, getting screen time this episode was perfect for me. You know, Grimjow, I wouldn't say he got the kill. I think if anything, Kisuke lined him up just to do an attack. It wasn't necessarily that Grimjow was stronger than Kisuke or anything. I think that, you know, Grimjow was just able to sneak him. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, you know, and just one shot, one kill kind of thing. And now that I think about, you know, going back to that, I almost had your name. Squad Zero Bankai. You know, the way that Askin got taken out was like those spike traps or whatever. I can kind of see it like the zipper thread, whatever the fuck Kisuke's power is. But also the fact that Grimjow was the one who just impales Askin, so like kind of also matches up in a way. Really cool stuff. And I'm sure that Nell, I know they're making it seem like really tense and, you know, they're leaving us with Kisuke passing out, probably dying, but the skeptic in me slash I won't believe it until I see it. Nell's gonna save them, you know. Yoriichi, I'm sure Yushiro is probably in there too. Grimjow, Kisuke, she's gonna get them all out, you know. If there's one thing she'll do that. I did like as I mentioned, the sort of building up of Orihime and Ichigo. I hope they kind of just I don't want to say drag it out, but, you know, I hope they do little bits of that throughout this core. I think that'll really... I've always understood it, and, you know, I don't think it was, like, unclear in the show. Adding in those little bits here and there throughout the rest of this core will really help solidify their romance. It's always been, and even this episode really kind of was just her one-sided attraction to Ichigo. So I get the people who are saying that Ichigo doesn't really care about Yorihime and all that shit. But also, like, he cares about her. But anyways, I liked that stuff they were doing. You know, just little tidbits of how she's viewing him. The way that she's, like, proud that she is finally at a point where she feels... Or that at least Ichigo is voicing that he wants her, like, side by side, you know? It's that it's not that he's protecting her, it's that we're going to go in together and deal with this. So I love that, you know, it's growth. But also, Orihime, keep your head in the game. Don't let it go to your head, okay? Just stay focused on the task at hand. It's really interesting with the stuff with the Yohabaha at the end. The way that I'm understanding what's going on right now with both those fights, Udiyo and Hashwealth, and then Ichigo, or, you know, all of them. The way that I'm understanding it is that Yuhabaha has woken up, so now he has the Almighty, and Hashwealth has his balancer shit, whatever. But maybe I don't understand it because I'm also thinking, well, Hashwealth still has his eyes. They're blue, but they're like, you know, the multiple eyes. Hashwealth might still have the Almighty power, and then Yuhabaha has the Soul King's power instead. Which is stronger than the Almighty in some way. They're sharing because they're both like power givers. That's what they said in that Baz B episode. So maybe they're kind of like both sharing equally this Almighty power. I don't know. I loved the way that Uri was fighting though, flying around, laying traps and shit. You know, this is kind of a tangent. I've always wanted to get a Renji tattoo. I just really love his aesthetic. And I'm planning to do a sleeve eventually on this arm of like different characters and media that I really like. So I want him to be one of them. And as much as I love Uryu, I've never like there's this thing about his aesthetic that is like not as translatable at a tattoo for me. I don't know if it's just like the German, the kind of, uh, wishy-washy parts there or what. But yeah, I've just always appreciated Renji's aesthetic more than Uryu, even though I probably enjoy Uryu as a character more because I think he's got a better win rate, um, and I just love the way he fights and his intelligence and all that shit. So I'm glad they're putting some respect on his name here. I don't want to say dragging out this fight, but also the way that they're showing no, he's very calculated, um, and very strong. I just want to see how that whole thing with Hoshwalth and him goes because I don't know. I don't remember that part. Even the stuff with Yuhabaha, I'm not really sure. Like I remember, I've mentioned before, mentioned again. I have read this manga. I have read the Thousand Year Blood War. I finished the manga. I just remember that we win. I don't know how this happens. I don't remember because I'm honestly trying to think of like how the fuck do we beat Yuhabaha, unless he just like gives up or something like somehow he just goes away of his own choice because being able to see everything and we've seen the show has provided us examples of what that looks like and that like in the way that Hoshwalt is fighting he's able to see everything. Yes, he sometimes gets hit, but also like it doesn't matter because in the long run he's still going to win. We've seen how Yuhabaha can predict like words that people will say. So I'm just like, what are the limits of his cognizance? Obviously, we've seen that the Soul King, that power, the Soul King's hand was able to evade his eyes, but that was pre him absorbing the Soul King. So like, even hypothetically, there is some other limb of the Soul King out there that we can use, or whatever, some other glimpse of the Soul King's power, right? Maybe Ichigo has that, but at the same time, Yuhabaha has absorbed that. So would he be able to sense that type of spiritual pressure now? I don't know. So all this to say, I'm really curious, like how the fuck does this show end? But I'm excited because it's just beautiful animation so far. I wonder if we're gonna get like I said, maybe Gerard's fight next. I mean, we ended. I didn't even talk about it really. The ending poem was obviously the miracle, and it was Toshiro's voice. So I'm sure we're gonna get something with them, right? So either way, excited to see where we go. I want to see like I said, those little cameos. Just show me like okay. And since we have talked about Kisuke's Bankai now, he was the one who like saved Kira, right? Like he's the one who stitched him up or something. And that's how Kira is alive with the giant hole in his chest. So I hope we go back to that. Again, nothing doesn't need to be a big whole scene, but just like a little, hey, here's Kira. Yeah, I saved him. Okay, we're good to go. Leave thoughts in the comments below. Excited to see you next week, and see you then. All right, bye.